This is episode 15 for the week of April 9th, and welcome to Another Disney Podcast.
It's time. I'm so excited for today's show. It's going to be great.
You want to know what I'm most excited about?
What?
We have finally fixed and updated like our background for this, our lower thirds, the end of our opener to all be the same color.
We've been working on it. It's fine. Everything's great.
So now it's like a Sahara sunrise.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going with? So Lion King. Yeah. I love it.
Basically.
Yeah. Looks great. That's everybody's week been.
Sunrise.
Week's been good. I've been
looking
forward to today's show because I always do enjoy sitting down.
The weather, like at least in Virginia Beach, Virginia, I know Brandon can't relate, but it's been springy. Pollen is now here. If you walk outside and sneeze, it's a yellow cloud.
So overnight, my dad's sprinklers run, and my car was nice and clean this morning when I left for work. I came outside, and my car had a yellow blanket on top of it.
It's a new paint job.
Yeah.
Every spring. So great.
Yep. Okay, how about some housekeeping?
Let's do it.
Okay. Attraction Madness finals?
Yes.
Yeah,
so
we're in the finals.
If you guys know me, you're not going to be surprised at all that I completely messed up the timing of all of this. So March Madness literally ended Monday with a heartbreaking loss for Gonzaga to have gone all the way undefeated and then lose to Baylor. But that's what these fun times are about.
Thought you were talking about Attraction Madness. I was like,
nope.
What the heck are
the
these
real
words
March Madness
saying? And even if you were talking about the real March Madness, I don't know what you were going to be saying. So
when I say Gonzaga, that means nothing to you, right?
I thought you were having a stroke.
Yay, sports for Matthew. Okay, let's unpack it. So the finals will be this week until Tuesday at midnight.
I like it.
So it's much shorter. So you'll hear this show on Friday. You got till Tuesday at midnight to vote. Your final two in Walt Disney World right now, for us, is Haunted Mansion and Flight of Passage. So one of those two will win. So that will take care of Magic Kingdom. That will take care of Walt Disney World. And then the final two at Disneyland is Pirates and Radiator Springs Racers. So one of those will win from each park, and then we will have the final. So here's how you're going to pick the winner. You will pick the winner. Back to you, Dan.
All right. Have a nice
easy.
That's about it.
Bye, guys.
Okay, so after you select the winner on our website, anotherdispodcast.com, you'll choose Attraction Madness. You will text to 757-563-4742 your name, your email, and the percentage that you think your attraction will win by. So let me say that one more time. Text to 757-563-4742. You'll include your name, your email, and the percentage that you think your attraction is going to win by. Now, if you're the closest on that percentage, you will win. You ready?
Ready.
I mean, this is what everyone's really excited for. The coveted ADP sticker and pin. That's really what everybody's excited about. And we decided we would throw in a $25 Disney gift card. I know no one cares about that.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. And we will announce the winner on next week's show. Again, how you vote, go to our website, anotherdispodcast.com, and you'll select Attraction Madness and scroll. Like the app that we use or the website that we use, you couldn't make them any smaller. So it's like Walt Disney World's real big, and then you have to scroll underneath that, and you'll know Walt Disney World's in blue, Disneyland is in red.
Yes, sir.
Did I explain that well? It was a lot of information.
I think so.
It was like a fire hose.
It was a lot.
No, that's pretty good explaining.
I think that's all we got for housekeeping this week, other than this show is sponsored by us and our Patreon.
No, you keep saying that every single time.
It's not
sponsored by us. It's sponsored by our patrons.
Oh. But it's sponsored by
This happened last week. It's fine.
I like the way that
it's fine.
We say it.
Hey, before we get into some parks news, we found this awesome show on YouTube, and Dave reached out to this gentleman to see if he would love to join us on the podcast this week. So, Dave, why don't you go ahead and introduce him to our listeners?
So I just had I just had a squirrel moment. I'm so sorry.
Squirrel.
I just noticed your shirt, Brandon. That shirt is dope.
Yeah, I love this shirt.
Where did you get that?
I actually got this shirt from the Home Tee, but the funny thing was I had to get this shirt made like 4 times because the first time it came, like it was over like here. It looked like it was awful. The second time it was like this big, and then the third time, it finally came this way. So
did they let you keep every copy?
Shirt. Yeah, I have all the copies, and then I also got one time they sent me. It's the same purple wall design, but it's the castle. They just sent me that. They were supposed to make me this shirt, but they sent me the castle.
Well, at least they got the park right. It's in
the park's right. I kept all of them though. That's what I do.
They've now become sleepwear, and this one you can actually wear in public. Sorry, totally light. So if you're not watching on video, you have to go see this shirt. It's epic, but you're obviously flipping a coin if you're going to get the right shirt on the first try. Anyway, hey guys, I really want to welcome Rob. So Rob runs a channel on YouTube called Robfuz, and he does a bunch of different things, but what attracted me to what he was doing is he does a weekly kind of all request show of Disney park rides from yesteryear. Oh my gosh. Like for hours, and I'll be there watching the whole time. We'll be watching something on TV. My wife is like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm watching Rob's videos. They're so good. So Rob, welcome to this madness that we call Another Disney Podcast.
Hey,
What's up,
Rob.
Guys? This is cool. Doing the Robfuz, by the way. I'm going to introduce it on your podcast. So
I love it.
Thank you guys for having me on. I love your show, guys. It's just, Dave came on one of my shows and everything, and he told me about your podcast, and I've been watching it ever since. I love it. So thank you guys for having me on. It's an honor.
Well, we're happy to have you.
I do have a gripe though. Like your guest last week was phenomenal. So like I don't know how to follow that. The guy was the voice for the people mover.
Please.
And for, the land. Come on, guys.
It was super fun.
I was feeling the pressure at dinner. So, oof. But thank you.
It
guys.
was good.
I think you got it in you. I think you got it in you, Rob.
Yeah. Okay, so let's jump in and really let you introduce yourself before we go anywhere. So all I've really shared, obviously, is that you have a YouTube channel. It's way more than just retro rides. So talk about like what it is that your channel basically exists for.
Yeah, I just over the years, I got a YouTube channel. I think in 2008, like it just sat there forever. And then once they started doing live streams, I kind of fell in love with YouTube again. And, I do a show every Friday, 4:00 Eastern time. And we just have fun. We talk Disney, we talk all different topics and everything. And I kind of wanted to be, I love theme parks, obviously. I love Disney. And I had in my mind, I want to be like a DJ kind of. That's what my thought was, just to show like rides, theme park stuff and everything. So everything I show mainly is mine. I'm starting to show some other people's videos. Like people just love it's called Theme Park Retros, this show. And I'm still trying to find a day for it. I think it's going to be Thursdays from 7 to 9, I think, Eastern time. I think that's going to be the day. But yeah, I film most of the stuff. I thanks for the shout out last week. Dave said I have dozens of videos. I looked it up, and I have like 325 rides that I personally shot, ready to go at any time. And like some days I'll do some topics, some days I'll do all requests and everything, and people just spat it out and everything, and I just love playing the rides. So.
Well, yeah, awesome. It's cool because it's a live show, but you're not sitting there like looking at camera like we are doing now. It's just you're rolling videos and the live chat is going crazy and everybody's interacting and people like request a ride and you're like, yep, we'll play that next. Or, and your streams are anywhere from like 2 to 4 hours. So I love it. So
my longest one was 5. So
wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's commitment right there. Guys, that's what's next for us. 5-hour shows.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
5-hour shows. Jeez.
Brandon's like, Matthew's like, I'm out. Anyway, we wanted to bring you on early. We'll talk to you more about what you do. and we'll let you jump in some of the parks news, because obviously if you've been recording these videos for years, you probably have a small obsession with Disney parks like we do. So we thought it made sense to bring you in a little early, and then we'll kind of grill you later about why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, you guys ready to go to the parks?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Okay, let's jump in. Brandon, are you going to go first with your story?
I think I am, because this story, I mean, I just thought it was a hilarious story, so I had to just bring it up here. So my story.
Bring it up, Brandon.
I'll bring it up, right? So has Disney had enough, guys? Is a cult classic being removed from the Morocco Pavilion? Now, I think you all know what I mean. You know, the time has finally come, as we all knew it would. Disney just this week has erected construction walls at the back end of the Morocco Pavilion. That's right, I said it. It'll block the fireplace that has become sort of like, you know, a naughty place for people to take photos. Like, this is the strangest fascination to me, is that this thing took off like this and people have to go get their photo. Now, I didn't even know about this place until Matthew showed it to me one day when we were in Epcot. He was like,
way to go, Matthew.
He was like, have you heard about the fireplace? And I was like, what fireplace are you talking about? So we walk back, you know, through the land of Aladdin,
like,
and I'm like,
yep, that's a fireplace.
That is a fireplace. My question is, like, how in the world did Disney not, how did somebody not look at that and say, that's probably going to end up bad? I mean, maybe it was on purpose, but maybe not. So
I have,
you know,
there's been nothing short of 47. That's what she said in that whole entire piece that you just shared. And it was, I didn't even try to keep a straight face. It was there was no way.
You did pretty well. So
oh my gosh,
here's my thoughts on it. Right. So we know that people will turn anything that they can, as evidenced by what you just said, into something dirty. Right. So obviously this fireplace was going to be a problem. But here's my question. What is the real reason for the work that they're doing in the wall? Is it because they really have to take down the inappropriate fireplace? Or is it because Disney now owns the Morocco Pavilion, so it was always part of the renovations? Thoughts?
Disney's going to spin it any way they can to get that off of social media. That's what I think. It's 100% intentional that they're like, this is giving us it's just a bad look. I mean, and I get it, but I don't like, it's what's so funny is you nailed it in your story. Like, it's been there since 1982, 81, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't know. It's our generation, man. Like, I mean, that's where our heads are.
We are the that's what she said generation. So, I mean, this is the ultimate that's what she said. I mean, if you go on the Disney Parks annual pass holder picture every day, there's no less than like 15 pictures that are like, hey, I got a shot with the wall. And there's like 600 comments. Like, people love this thing. And I don't know. I mean, I got a picture. Don't get me wrong. I got a picture. But why it was there to begin with.
If you are an angel sent straight from heaven and have no idea what we're talking about, just Google the Moroccan, I don't know, just Morocco picture.
Honestly, at this point, you could probably just Google Epcot Morocco.
Yeah, Epcot Morocco.
Probably show up.
Rob, did you ever meander back there and discover this chimney fireplace?
I might get a lot of heat out there, but Morocco is like my least favorite country, so I really haven't spent much time there. And I have a funny story about this. I'm a mod in a lot of these YouTube chat room, YouTube channels and everything, and we have like private Twitter rooms where we talk mod stuff and everything. And someone mentioned, oh, they got rid of the Morocco thing, and I'm like clueless because I heard about this, totally forgot about it. And then I'm like, oh, because they got rid of something else. I'm thinking we're going to talk about later. But so I get like a little private message from like one of the other mods. They're like, it's this. I'm like, oops. I was so embarrassed when he sent me that because I totally forgot about it. So I was like, ooh, I was embarrassed because he had to like kind of spell it out for me. But Yeah, I can't believe it's been there all those years. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I kudos to you, Brandon. You kept this family friendly, so that was well done. Really, I didn't really have a lot of worry about you. It was everything within me to not say something smart aleck comment, but I
remember when
when
Brandon's wife texted us this week. She said, "Is your show considered kid friendly?" And we all said, "Oh yeah, for sure."
Right until
Not
tonight.
Now.
I mean, I only said erected once, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. This is fine. We have to move on, or I will fall down a hole.
I do see the wall, and they put like a camel with a little fez in front of it too.
Yes.
I don't know if it's there or not. It's kind of fun.
It's kind of a nice little. You can't go back here anymore.
Hey Dave, can you please move on?
Okay, moving on. All right. So let's talk. I mean, we're 6 months out from the 50th, so I know that's a ways, but there's been a lot of news kind of driving toward the 50th, especially some of the fun things that they've been doing at the castle in Magic Kingdom. And, the license plate has been announced. If you're a Florida resident, like, I think that was actually big news. I didn't realize this. Did you guys know that they had to hit a certain number of pre-order before they would guarantee
it was almost like a Kickstarter program.
Yeah, and it took a hot minute. I didn't realize how long it took.
Yeah, it took a long time. Like it was
Brandon,
well over a year.
Are y'all getting one?
Yep.
I thought you were going to be like, nope,
No?
it's a license plate.
It's only $25 then.
Right,
I mean, it's not like it's a huge investment. I mean, that's a sweet, like, once in a lifetime thing for $25. I might not even put it on the car. I might just have it.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea.
For sure.
Can you fake have another car so I can buy one?
Yeah. I have 8 cars. 8 cars. I need 8 license plates.
Okay.
Do you guys remember that was a thing when I was a kid? Like they had like the Epcot license plate and the Disney. I used to collect license plates from the theme parks. It was kind of cool. So I know it's not the same thing, but I'm thinking about that too. So
I cannot so here's the one thing that I thought that crossed my mind. I remember that and you can still get, I think, like frames, like a frame that goes around. Hands down, they're going to make this so you can buy it that just has the 50th logo and nothing. Like there's no, like, if not, it's like, how can you be not like, that's just collecting free money. Like, I mean, how much does it cost to print that piece of tin? Like it can't be that much. And so like, I think it's going to be there, Rob.
That's the one I had like when I was a kid.
Yes, look how retro fabulous that is.
Yes,
it's brilliant.
Yes, sorry.
That's perfect. Okay, so like I said, with 6 months to go until Walt Disney World kicks off the 50th, let's take a look at new attractions and experiences that will debut during the celebration. So first, we've talked about this a couple times. It's an 18-month-long celebration. This is not anything new. This is what Disney does. I'm pretty sure Disneyland's 60th just ended last week. And if we're being honest, Mickey and Minnie are still wearing the 90th birthday outfit. So that's still going on, right?
Correct.
Well,
it's still happening.
I mean, they'll go away with the 50th.
But, okay, in all seriousness, if you do the math, this 18 months will actually cover 3 calendar years. So that's kind of insane to think about. But it's only 18 months, but it'll be 21, 22, and 23. So crazy. Now, here's what I wanted to talk about in the story, because there's been a shift. That's the new professional way of saying it. We're shifting our focus. That means it's like, we've had something that went horribly wrong. But they've had a shift in the message that they're delivering. And you'll see a lot of, these two things are very important. You'll see a lot of in time for and during. So those two things are very specific. So for example, back in the end of November 25th, 2019, there was an article on Disney Parks blog that stated Tron would be open in time for the 50th. Well, we all know now that's not going to happen. Instead, Disney has hinted different seasons within the 18-month timeline for the 50th. So to be blunt, like we all love Disney, but let's just be blunt. Right now, all that's slated for October 1st, 2021, which is the official 50th anniversary day, is the special lighting at all 4 parks that they're calling Beacons of Magic on what I like to call the park's castles. So in Hollywood Studios, you're talking Chinese Theater. In Magic Kingdom, it's the real castle. In Animal Kingdom, it's the Tree of Life, and Spaceship Earth and Epcot. So they're going to have Beacons of Magic. Now, one of our favorite Imagineers on YouTube has already shared some of this, the lighting that they're already testing it. I know that they've tested it in Hollywood Studios, right, Matthew? What's his name? You love him.
Zach
Ridley? Zach Ridley, yes. So he's done a couple things on Instagram showing that. And the only other thing is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure slated to open October 1.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, there are tons of things that are already ready that you'll see when you enter property. So we're talking the signs that are on, I think they're all but done. The last time I was there was only one entrance that still had the OG sign. So they've all been switched over to that new iridescent look as you're all entering from different sections of property. And then there's the Magic Kingdom parking plaza, like that they've iridescented out. Is that a word? And the castle embellishments, I'm sure, is going to be done because they've brought in the Ichabod. The crane is in this week, and they're doing some things.
They brought it in on Monday, and they had the first gold piece put in last night. Yeah, which that was April 6th.
I'm not a fan of the pink castle, but what they're doing for the 5th, it looks cool. Like it's going to look gorgeous.
It's going to be great.
I'm excited for it.
You said pink castle. I thought you were saying birthday cake castle. I got excited there. I'm retro.
No.
No.
Oh, we have very distinct thoughts about that castle.
Boy, do we.
Moving on. So now let's shift. Those are the in time pieces that are happening. So let's shift our focus to during the event. So more of these things will be trickling out. So here's the original list. And some of these have actually been canceled. So all the above that I just mentioned, then Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind will be opening during the 50th. Tron's Light Cycle Run sometime during the 50th. The Play Pavilion sometime during the 50th. Say it with me. And then here's some sadness. Main Street USA Theater canceled. Reflections, a Disney Lakeside Lodge, canceled. So that actually got some new news last week that apparently on the old airport landing strip that was right there next to Magic Kingdom, there was tons of like construction trailers that are all gone. Like they've pulled them. So like that is dunzo.
Well, one thing that I saw this week was all of the and actually this might have to do with it, but also because that's really close to where this is. But Reflections, Disney Lakeside Lodge, like all of the construction stuff was removed. Like they removed all the construction equipment a while
offices.
back, but all the construction offices are gone.
Yeah.
So
peace out. That happened this week. So that was. I mean, but it was already announced that it was canceled. So it'll be interesting to see how it all comes together with all these moving parts. So
yes, sir.
Rob, are you going to go anytime over the next 17 years that we're celebrating the 50th?
Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm dating myself. I did turn 50 this year, so I was really excited about. Look, I was born in 1971, and so was Disney World. I was really excited.
That's right.
Oh, that's epic.
Like it's really cool to see all the merchandise when it has 1971, your birth year on it. So it always meant more to me. And rewind like 3 years ago, my vision was to stay at the Star Wars Hotel on my 50th birthday, and we were going to go to Disney and all that stuff. Obviously, that's way out the window. It's not happening. But yeah, of course, I'm going at least once, maybe twice for the 50th something. I don't know. 50. During the 50th?
During. I mean, this is clearly a win for not only Disney, but guests, right? I mean, I know that we're super stoked to be there. Like, I want to be there on the 50th, even if it's a ho-hum celebration, just to be there and be in the parks on the 50th anniversary is like, it means something to me. I'm excited to actually be there. I know that we won't be able to experience everything that we had maybe hoped for during that day, but I also think this is a huge thing for guests that are going to be visiting over those 18 months, that they'll still feel a part of that special time. So, I mean, obviously it's going to be a huge cash cow for Disney, which, to be blunt, they need. Like, I mean, please, I'm hoping people come, and I'm hoping they pack the parks, and, I'm hoping people feel safer and safer as we move, turn the page and move forward in this crazy world. So I think it's great that they're doing this. I mean, they're just modeling it after other big, celebrations that they've done at other parks. So it's a win all the way around. And that way, if you can't be there within the first couple of weeks or on day one, you're probably going to get a better experience the longer you wait into that, because all these new things will be here. So that's my news story, and I'm sticking to it.
Was I delusional? Did I remember that they were supposed to do 50 big things for the 50th anniversary? Like not like a Guardians of the Galaxy or Tron ride, but were they supposed to do I remember that promotion like a long time ago.
Yeah,
I thought that was
vaguely familiar.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah, I remember that.
And when is the Space 2020 restaurant opening? Is that on there?
No, I didn't see that. Wasn't, and I think that was supposed to be opened so long ago that it wasn't even like a thought for the 50th. Yeah. So I still Matthew follows that a little bit more, and so I'm going to let him speak to it so I don't say something wrong. Go.
I mean, there's not really much to say. I mean, it's like, we're so in the dark about all this. I mean, if you've been following it, then the frustration of it is I mean, it's like Ratatouille. It's basically sitting there completed.
Yeah.
I think what they're working on right now, they're probably working on menus and stuff like that. And one thing that I heard brought up the other day is Disney is working. I heard this. I think it was Mickey Views, Braden with Mickey Views. He said, we see so much of the physical construction going on. We have no clue what's going on with graphics designers, animatronics, and things like everything that makes the ride cool. We can see physical construction, but I mean, we can't really see much of what's going on. So I think who knows, maybe they're having trouble with the giant wall, you know?
You never know. I mean, and when you talk about a restaurant, like a restaurant that's supposed to be an experience, you have to get a chef, you have to have a head chef that has to create a menu that then has to teach other sous chefs, if you will, that menu. And then you have to have a staff that can make the experience. So, I mean, the restaurant could be physically done, but if nobody wants to be the head chef, it can't open.
I thought I remember seeing they had gotten a head chef, and maybe they
3
did.
times.
Sure.
I think they had a couple. They've had some come in, and then the restaurant decide. There was a setback, and so the chef's like, "I'm not going to hang out in this place for a year where my restaurant never opens." And then they had to get another one. So, I mean, just having been through a couple of restaurant openings myself with different restaurants, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes other than just make the food and bring people. So
I mean, I'm not even going to begin to understand. I mean, at least they gave us an opening date for the creepery.
Yeah, October 1.
Creepery.
Because I mean, that could have been a mess. They haven't announced any chefs for that or anything, and it's supposed to be everybody's looking at it as a walk up, and it is a walk up, but it's also a sit down.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Speaking of all these job hirings, guys, I have not heard back yet from the fireworks position yet. I'll keep you posted.
Wow.
They were testing. They were testing yesterday. So
why was it how can they do that in the middle of the day?
I don't know. It was really weird and really random. I got a text from Krista, my wife, and she's like, I swear there's fireworks going off. And then everybody in our neighborhood page, because I don't know, Rob, I don't know if you know, but I live less than a half mile behind the Magic Kingdom. So
he's the worst.
Everybody in our neighborhood's like, are they bombing us? What's going on?
I mean, there was a SpaceX launch, but that was today, right?
That was today.
It's not that close.
It wasn't. it wasn't that, but yeah, there were. I mean, and they went on for a good amount of time. So, I mean, I really thought you were here, Dave, but then you text me and said you hadn't heard back, so I was disappointed.
Yeah. I'll let you know.
Weren't we all? Weren't we all disappointed?
I love what they did at the end of Illuminations. They made that. Did you see that at the end of the night? They said, I've heard they did it before. I don't know if you've heard it before because you're so close. Like they did like, all right, everyone, we're going to have a big explosion in the lagoon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And did you ever hear that? Did you ever guys know about that? They
I did not
ever Illuminations. I know Resort TV 1 actually covered it.
They just blew up.
Oh, wow.
They just blew up the old barge.
Yeah, they blew up the barge. That's exactly what they did. So
That's wild.
We're gonna sink this puppy. Stand by.
It's in the bottom of the lagoon as we speak.
cool. It was like,
All right, Matthew, take us to
hour after the show
Disneyland.
they did it.
Nice.
Disneyland.
No one got fired, I don't think so. Or
No,
maybe they
nobody
did because
did
they were
get
filling the position. So
Fingers crossed.
All right, Disneyland. There's a lot going on. I mean, last week I talked about Disneyland Forward, and this week I get to talk about all the stuff about reopening. So let's start with the boring stuff that I think is boring. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't. I don't know. Who knows? Let's talk about tickets and reservations. So tickets and so for tickets, you'll be able to get a park reservation beginning on April 12th. And that is kind of sucks for, as they're called now, the legacy pass holders, because so the problem with all of this is that the people who are able to make reservations now had tickets pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
And they were ready to go. But new ticket sales don't start until April 15th, 3 days later. So all of those reservations are going to be gone, is my assumption.
Didn't they announce early on they would not be raising prices, and then today they announced they're raising prices?
They didn't raise prices.
I swear I heard that.
I didn't think so.
Back to you, Dan.
Actually, that's one of the things that I did notice is they're supposedly not raising prices from what they were just pre-pandemic. But they will eventually. That's for sure.
they'll get you.
But maybe I'm wrong. Dave might be looking
Nope.
it up.
There's a big skimming articles is my favorite. Disneyland will not, in all caps, raise ticket prices. Back to you, Matthew.
I love it. Okay. All right. So let's get into specifics. So you can get a reservation starting on April 12th. And this is, I liked this wording that they used because they kind of screwed themselves over with the Walt Disney World reservation system and told everybody this is when it's opening and this is the time it's opening.
Yeah.
They told this is their words exactly. The theme park reservation system will open no earlier than 8 a.m., which means it could open anytime after 8 a.m. And I remember trying to get a reservation that first time with Walt Disney World, and I don't think I got a reservation for 4 or 5 hours. It was ridiculous. So, and that's just because, Disney's IT is just top notch.
Shots fired.
Sorry, it's true. And then, okay, so that's reservations. Theme park ticket sales are kind of the same. At 8 a.m. on April 15th, guests who didn't have tickets before can start ordering tickets and getting
Reservations?
Reservations, thank you. Okay, so that's kind of the big stuff I've got when it comes to tickets and pricing and everything. Okay, next. What will not, there's a lot of articles, and Disney actually puts this out there themselves that say, here's what will be open on opening day. And I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to go with what's closed because
it's a much shorter list.
I mean, it is a much shorter list and it's kind of easier to manage. So, okay. I'll save the stuff that's closed for refurbishment for after this list. Okay, so here's what's closed. In Disneyland, you have Chippendales Treehouse. Davy Crockett's Explorer Canoes, which that makes sense because they're this big. The Disneyland Monorail, Womp Womp. Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage, because that makes sense. It's a coronavirus mating community.
Wow.
Goofy's Playhouse, Main Street Cinema, Sailing Ship Columbia, Sleeping Beauty Castle Walkthrough. That makes sense. It's so tight in there. Storybook Land, Canal Boats. That's all for Disneyland. California Adventure, you get the Golden Zephyr, that makes sense.
Whee!
It is quite a tight ride. I liked that ride. I actually waited like 15 minutes for that ride,
really
which
cool
feels
looking
like
for
a little
sure.
bit
We rode it.
long. Okay. And then the red car trolley is going to be closed. Okay. So let's go into
Mr. Lincoln's going to be open?
supposedly.
Yes. I love that show.
The shows and stuff are going to be open too.
Oh, probably not.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it's
hold
weird
on,
that they
hold on.
wouldn't have
Wait,
listed
I have
that.
the list of what will be open right here.
What's the capacity? 25%.
Well, they said 15,
15,
but
but
the rumors are they're already going to bump it before that.
yeah, the
I think
They've-
whatever
they've-
their guidelines are say that if they're at a certain tier, they can go up to 25.
what is the attraction actually called? With Mr. Lincoln?
Is it Great Moments?
Great Moments.
Is
Let's
it-
see.
Oh, my mind only goes to
No,
great
that was right.
moments in history, but just the American
Only
part.
American part.
I don't see it on the list, but we'll follow up. Okay. All right. So what's going to be closed for renovation? This list is a little bit different because we legitimately have no clue when it will reopen. But the good news is all of these rides that are closed for renovation will reopen after the pandemic.
Probably sometime during
Start,
Walt
like,
Disney World's
as-
50th anniversary.
Right. they'll be closed, or they'll be open as they're completed. Okay, so here we go. Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters is closed for renovations. Matterhorn bobsleds are
Sorry, I was excited. And by the way, that Buzz Lightyear is way better because the guns come off of the thing and pew,
That's
pew.
way better.
Like it's way better than Walt Disney World. Sorry.
I should have done it because that was one of the couple attractions I didn't do.
Didn't it do it in Paris too?
We didn't go in Paris.
Oh, oops. Nailing it this week, guys.
Yeah, you are. Okay. All right,
Come to us for all the
so-
knowledge.
All right, Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, Jungle Cruise, Matterhorn bobsleds, which Jungle Cruise shouldn't come as a surprise. I think they announced that they're not closing Walt Disney Worlds for renovation, but I mean, I feel like if they just want to close down Jungle Cruise and do everything in one fell swoop while they have a little bit of time, I'm not saying like they didn't just have a year to do it, but it's fine. Everything's fine.
Money.
California's
It's all
been
money.
locked down.
It's all
fine.
money.
Okay, so that's all for Disneyland. Disney California Adventure. Grizzly River Run is going to be closed for renovation, which I feel like
Makes
it's closed for
sense.
renovation half the time anyways.
No, that thing
It's
is
just
hardly
like
open.
it's just like Cali River Rapids. I feel like that ride closes for renovation quite often. Okay.
All right.
One more thing regarding park hopping. So let's talk hours in park hopping. Unlike Walt Disney World, Disneyland and Disney California Adventure are going to be able to do park hopping when they reopen, which is very exciting. So both parks will be open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and you will be able to park hop beginning at 1 p.m.
1.
Yes.
Yes.
Very, very good news. I'm very excited about that. I like hearing that because to be honest, I don't know if I'd ever buy a single day ticket for California Adventure, and I mean it's a cool place, but I don't know. I don't know if I could just stay in California Adventure all day without
I've
park
always gotten
hopping
a
over
park
to
hopper.
Disney.
Yeah.
And the way that they do their fast passes over there, you can actually hold, because they still do the ticket system. Well, pre-pandemic, I imagine that's not going to change. You could hold a ticket, a fast pass, one from each park. You could have two. You can only have one per park, but at least you could. So like when we got there, we ran over to Radiator Springs Races, got that, and then ran back over to Magic Kingdom or Disneyland and got another one, and then rode some of the rides that really wasn't any wait. So
So
it's a weird system there, but it works.
That must have changed because you gave me that tip and I tried it and I could only hold one fast pass at a time. Yep.
What, Dave's information was wrong again?
I went in 2017. Everything's different.
Yes.
Yeah, and that actually surprised me about when Walt Disney World opened. Like, it surprised me with it as low as they had the capacity that they didn't allow park hopping from the beginning, because what better way to test it out than when you only have 25% capacity? I mean, when the parks opened, I think we went 10 days after they first opened again. And I was at Animal Kingdom and I did not see another person around me in Africa. Like, there was not a single person around. We sat at Starbucks and we drank our whole drinks and didn't see a single other person.
Wow.
So to me,
That's wild.
it was crazy. And I know I sent Dave some pictures and some text and like, look at how many people are not here. So to me, it was just super surprising that they wouldn't have tested park hopping right when they opened, just to see, all right, can we get people from park to park? Will it work out at low capacity so that when we up the capacity to 35, 40% like they have now, obviously, I mean, it works fine now. I don't think there's been any days where you haven't been able to go to a different park. So it just surprised me with Disney World that they didn't do it right away.
That makes sense.
Go
ahead.
Go ahead, Matt. No, I was just curious if there was any mention about season passes, like in the future or whatever. I know they abolished it, but
no, nothing yet. Which is kind of a disappointment, I know, especially for those legacy pass holders. Because I mean, right now, those first day ticket holders are only going to be able to, those legacy pass holders are only going to be able to buy tickets on April 15th and get their reservations on April 15th. And I mean, the only way that a pass holder would really be able to get one is if they had a ticket pre-pandemic, or for opening day, I should say. If they have had a ticket for some reason, or B, if if Disneyland for some reason holds some reservations. And maybe, Disneyland did talk about some benefits. Maybe this is a yet to be discovered benefit. Maybe for some reason the Disney will come out and say, hey, we know you want to get reservations. Here is, here's some days that we blocked out
small
some reservations for you to get. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's my speculation. I'd like to see that because, Disney's most loyal customers are the people,
especially
who go
Disneyland.
there. Yeah, for sure. People who go there every weekend. So yeah.
Nice.
That's what I got for Disneyland.
Crazy times, man.
Yay, Disneyland. Yay, left coast.
Speaking of, I know that you were talking about Jungle Cruise being closed and not reopening because it'll be down for refurbishment, obviously, because we know what we're doing, because they've been talking a lot about the changing over some of the culturally insensitive things that they have. They Trader Sam's got the boot this week, or Trader Sam got the boot this week, so he has been removed from the ride. But I mean, like, I don't know, like, it's fine. And like, just the weird thing to me is like they have those bars on both coasts, like that they're not going to do any retheming or renaming any of that, right? They're going to touch it. So he'll live on.
That's what I heard. Like, they don't think the name is insensitive, just the character of him. So, I mean, there's some of the themes, but they don't go as far as like making the cartoon or mockery of the character itself. So, yeah, I read that they're keeping the bars.
Well, I'd be curious because, we read that they're keeping the bars, but maybe Trader Sam's not dead. Maybe he's dead in his.
I will miss him because his face is so funny standing there.
Who knows? Maybe somehow the character will be brought back, just not culturally insensitive.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be hey, churros for everybody,
except churros are your head.
Oh man!
Maybe it's going to look like The Rock. Maybe they're going to change his face like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
I agree.
I'm so down for that.
I agree.
I love that.
So Disney made a surprise announcement that I don't think anybody saw coming this week, and that was yesterday. They out of the blue announced that as long as you're stationary and physically distanced from others, you can now take off your mask to take pictures. And so that came out of the blue, and they said they were going to announce this was going to take place on the 8th, which is tomorrow. We record on Wednesday nights, and they surprised everybody even more they started today. My feed was filled with people like standing there taking pictures, and I'm like, no way, they released it early. So I the only thought that I had about this is it seemed, I mean, I know why, because this is just a way for people to abuse things. They're going to walk every 4 steps and say, I'm taking a picture. Like, hopefully those people won't do that. But I will say that when you think about like 90% of meal taking across all of property, not just in the parks, but I would say probably 90%, maybe that's false. 70% of meal partaking usually takes place inside, and you take off your mask eating, recirculated air, the fact that to take off your mask for 30 seconds to take a photo, I think it is a great idea, a great move. I just hope that our resident humans don't abuse it.
Yeah. And I mean, they were already abusing it. We were at Magic Kingdom Thursday, and I mean, I saw people, I walked by huge groups of people, and as soon as somebody picks up the phone or the camera, whoosh, their masks come off. So I mean, there was no enforcement of it. People were just blatantly walking around without masks, eating. So I mean, my personal opinion is humans will be humans. They're going to abuse it. They're going to do what you say, Dave, and they're going to be like, oh, I'm taking a picture, or they're going to like video, they're going to do blogs or whatever of video, and they're going to be walking around without a mask on. So I mean, it's interesting. I'm glad they're doing it. Like down here in Orange County, we're getting to the point where a lot of people are getting vaccinated, and they think that they may be able to lift the mask mandate in our county by June, which would be super cool. But I think for this first couple of weeks, there's going to be a lot of, you need to be stationary while taking a picture, just like it was when you need to be stationary while eating. Yeah.
I think so. This is going to be a perfect example. And we saw this a couple months ago. Disney is going to have to go back and clarify what they meant. I mean, it's kind of been the way they've been doing things, and they said, hey, you can take your mask off in your restaurant and sit and eat. They said, hey, you can take your mask off as long as you're eating. And then they said, oh no, you can't do that. You have to be stationary. This is, I think, going to be another one of those moments where they're like, oh, no, we quite literally meant when you're taking a photo, because people are going to abuse it, and they're going to be like, oh, I was taking a photo. No, you weren't. You were taking a TikTok. You were doing a video. You were vlogging. Like, no. I think Disney is going to have to clarify that it is only for a photo. So it is for a brief amount of time.
Hashtag don't be that person. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes. Preach.
Hashtag don't be that person.
Yes.
All right, man. I think we beat this news to death.
That's a lot of news.
That is some news, man.
It's just I mean, it's crazy. Things are, as we're crawling up out of the darkness, there's just a lot of things going on. So it's, we're trying to be good about, our idea was we'll each pick one story that we like this week, but then they drop all these new things and all these things that are huge stories. So we'll try to sprinkle them in. But now we want to put Rob back in the hot seat.
Yes.
Yes. So, Rob, we talked earlier very briefly. You have a YouTube channel. You have these kind of, I don't know why my brain always keeps going to Total Request Live because Carson Daly's not a part of your show, right? But you do these shows where you have hopefully my jaw didn't hit the floor when you said 300 something videos.
Hold on. I need to pause for a second.
Can I just say most impressive?
I just need to clarify something with you. Do you naturally say Total Request Live, or do you naturally say TRL?
I say it out because I'm a boomer. I'm a boomer. I can't help it.
That's wild. That's wild.
So, Rob, yes, talk to us about, obviously you have an affinity for Disney. Like here, because what's funny, Matthew and I do video production for a living, but every time I go to the parks, I always try to make this beautiful cinematic wow memory of like, here's what the parks look like on this trip. And I love doing it all like in slow motion. And I even have like a slow motion Instagram that I haven't touched in eons, but you know, I love like the cinematic beautiful, because the parks are gorgeous. It's hard not to point a camera somewhere and not like be able to get a great shot. And so having that as my background, but I never think like, oh, I'm going to record all the rides because it'll be cool to look at this when I'm old. Not that you're old. You're not old. So like
I told it earlier.
What made you think to do this?
Well, you know, it just, let's go back. My first trip to Disney was 1978. That's how long ago it was. And I don't even think we had any filming cameras, nothing. You know, my mom took pictures and everything. I think we went back in 81 and then 83 for Epcot's opening. So, you know, that first year of Epcot, I went back there. And then, you know, I had the big camcorder, I had a big Panasonic camcorder. It weighed a ton. And then, oh no, it had a VCR too, an accompanying VCR. So you would have to take the camcorder. If you guys aren't watching the video, I'm holding up my hand like a big camcorder and a big VCR, and the battery alone weighed, I don't know, 6 pounds. The battery weighed. It was like this.
So a newborn, great.
Yeah. So my dad to this day, like I literally go up to him, I taunt him. I'm like, Dad, here's my camera. Here you go. I'm holding up my cell phone if you're listening to the podcast. So, and I just dropped the phone, and like he gets so pissed at me because, you know, we rented a baby stroller to carry this camera around.
I love it.
It was crazy. We were, and then, you know, I'll never forget, like my mom, like this is the one and only time she ever video recorded anything. Like it was when we went to Disney. After that, I kind of took over. Like I was 13 back then, and I'll never forget. I kicked my parents out of the room and I filmed the TV, the resort TV. You know, it was hosted by Jiminy Cricket and everything, and I recorded that. I brought a tripod down and I recorded it. It was about 30 minutes, and you know, got to remember, there's no computers, there's no YouTube then, there's no nothing, and I recorded it on VHS, these big VHS tapes for me. And then fast forward, you know, all these years and everything, I started converting stuff. I was literally today, it's embarrassing. The last time I went to Disneyland was March 23rd, 2009. And I was literally, I'm holding up my DV tapes. And I was actually converting my tapes today. And it was really cool to see some of we're talking about Disneyland and everything today. I was watching a lot of it today. And this is another probably 30 rides I'm going to add to my show and everything. And look. Are my videos the greatest? No, they are not. Because I have VHS, I got mini DV, I got high millimeter, all that stuff. I even have something my uncle shot in 1976. I show on my show, which is bizarre. So, but like I just have fun showing videos and everything, and it's fun. Like, I'm really good friends with Josh from Resort TV One. I think that's how Dave found me. He gave me a shout out one day, and you guys came over, and it was really cool. I got some new friends that day. He's incredible, like live streaming and everything, and he does a lot of retro streams, and I've been on his show. He Resort TV One does like a retro show too, but I wanted to take it, like I said earlier, I wanted to take it another step. I wanted to kind of do, you know, I did a Magic Kingdom, I did Epcot, I did Animal Kingdom, I did Disney Studios. I'm going to do a Universal Studios. I'm going to do a Disneyland one, and I've been to Tokyo Disneyland, which was kind of cool. So maybe I'll do another week on that too. But my thing, the key was to let's do like an all request show. So people come on, and like you said, people don't even believe I'm live. So I'm like, yeah, I'm live. Here you go. Here's the ride next and everything. And I'll show the stuff on the bottom and everything, the comments while we're doing stuff. It's kind of like a pop-up video kind of show. And then I have my friend Avery and Isaac. They come on, and they're the king of lyrics. Like we'll go on like World of Motion or Horizons, whatever, and they'll show the script of what they're saying on the ride. So we kind of have like a challenge of let's show the script what they're showing during the shows and everything, and during the rides and everything. So you can read along what they're saying on the shows and everything. So they're awesome that they do that. But
that's the few times that I've been on. That's what I've loved. Like he's literally quoting it as like you see the stream going, and he's like doing it word for word. And yeah, like when I think I might have found you through through Pete. Like I'm pretty sure that's how I originally found you, and you were on there, and I went to your channel, and I was like, oh my gosh, look at all of these rides. And so yeah, I freak out like every time. I'm like the Timekeeper, a great movie ride, and then of course anything Epcot from the 80s and early 90s. Like I miss all of that like crazy. And so to find that, so here's I'm gonna go back and challenge you. Yes, your videos are amazing. Yes, the quality is incredible because A, you have it, and B, you're sharing it. So it's perfect. Like I love it, everything about it. I don't care how bad it looks, how like that's part of like the nostalgia love of it because you remember those times, and then you can see like what people are wearing when you know sometimes grab stuff with parades and stuff in the park, and you can look back and be like, oh my gosh, I remember when bangs were in style. It's just so cool to see that.
Yeah, definitely. I pulled up my page. That's what that noise was. So I just wanted to see some of my most popular, just some crazy stuff. Like my most popular video on my channel, and this is the way I used to do it. I used to do, video by video and everything. My most popular video on my channel, it's in Japanese. It's the Cinderella Castle Mystery Tour. It's got 123,000 views, which is crazy. Wow. So I posted it 2 years ago, and like that's the way I used to do, like video for video, ride for ride. I said, you know what? Why am I holding back? Let's just throw it all out. And like in one show, I'll show 30 different rides. I'll go from like Tokyo Disneyland to Animal Kingdom to Epcot or whatever. So the only negative thing I see is kind of, I don't mind doing it, but like I do a lot of requests and everything. And it's always like, all right, great movie ride. It's always like, let's see Horizons. Let's see, they come back and it's like, it's kind of the same rides and everything. So I kind of mix my picks and some new stuff I'm throwing in there with some requests too. So, but
so needless to say, everything is everything that you show on your channel your content?
You guys were asking. I think Dave was asking. Yeah, like. Well, that's the cool. Like, I've never been to Disneyland Paris. I'm jealous you've been there, Matt. I don't know whoever else went, but I'm jealous you guys went there. I'm Dave. I'm jealous. The only bit I went to Disney Seas. I went to Tokyo Disneyland and Disneyland.
Oh, so that's where we want to go.
And everything. But so like which is kind of cool. It kind of built into like, well, I have this ride and I have this ride and I've been here and I've been there. So I've been kind of getting some contributions from my viewers and everything. And I literally just got, my friend Ray just gave me like 15 different rides. Like the quality is amazing. She gave me 15 rides from Disneyland Paris. So like if anyone asked for it, Phantom Manor, I could show it. Like I want to see the Peter Pan thing.
Nice.
So I've been, but I give credit though. Like I put it on there, shot by, her name's Skull Ray or whatever. So, I've been mixing it up and everything. And I had some other people just say, hey, I got some great retro stuff and everything. So I don't know. This was an experiment. Like I think I started a couple months ago and it's just kind of growing into this monster. I'll get 600, 700, 800 people watching, views on some of these shows. And, I'm thinking to myself, these videos are from, the 80s or the 90s, whatever. So it's just fun.
Yeah.
So one day we did a pirate tribute. I showed all the different versions of the Pirates of the Caribbean or Caribbean. Go ahead, Dave.
One thing that I love about, I think I've watched like 3 over the past month or whatever live with you. And I love that, like, they'll be going for like, multiple hours and you'll be like, you guys want more? Like everybody's still in, and we're all like, yep. Bring it.
Keep on showing.
And so we're just going to keep you up all night long. This roll. It's just, I think it's because, right, for the old people in the room, we're reliving like our childhood. You're like, oh my gosh, I remember I was there in high school when I rode Horizons. Like that was the last time I got to ride it. Like, and so there's obviously that nostalgia trip and tied to so many different memories. Like I remember, like that was the second time that I went with my parents and I got to ride with my dad. Yeah. Like, it was all of these things. And then of course the people that are of the today, your millennials and Zennials and all of that, like they didn't get to experience all this, so they can jump on and be like, "Oh my gosh,
like I'm
look how
amazed. Like I'll
wild
show
that
a
is."
ride, and they're like, "What ride is that? Like what park is like?" They're amazed. Like what is that? It's amazing. Like what park is it? And I love that. It's so amazing. Like if I'm showing someone Horizons for the first time, or World of Motion, or like, or they'll be like, "Wow, that ride is so different." Like I love showing Carousel Progress, the original one, and I love, I don't know, like even the Spaceship Earth, and Epcot was amazing, when it first opened back in the days, and I feel it's great experience now, but it just, you kind of get a taste of it from Spaceship Earth. You kind of get a taste of it from it's really it, from maybe American Adventure, but that's really it. Those two OG rides, that was the whole experience. You had Universe of Energy, you had Horizons, you had World of Motion, you had all that stuff, and it was all that. It was amazing. So I even did a director's cut version of the Great Movie Ride. I have both versions, the Western and the Gangster Seed, and like I show like from my different things I recorded, like the different alien angles and the witch a couple times and everything. I'm like, I don't care. I want to see these moments, and then the movie at the end and everything, because a lot of times I didn't capture that in some of the versions. I put together like a mega director's cut version of it. So.
To be completely honest, I think as far as scenes that Disney has created in rides, I personally think that Wizard of Oz is untouchable from anything else that they've done in those kind of interactive, that room was incredible. Like you look over at them and it's like, holy crap. I felt like I was in the film. It was mind blowing. Even as dated as it was.
The witch comes up in the fire and that part is crazy. Yeah. That was, I mean, that ride itself was insane, but like, you're right, Dave, that room, like you're just like, I'm in Oz, man. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
how jealous were you when you saw that they rented it out and you could eat dinner there? I was so jealous.
Oh, I remember that.
I remember seeing that.
Or the last day of Universe of Energy when they let people walk through the attraction. Come on, I'm like, oh man, I would have killed to do that. It was awesome.
Yeah, I just remember seeing that it like broke down. It's like that was my favorite part. They said it broke down, but clearly it didn't. They were doing that for the diehards
for sure.
Down for service. And I just wanted to
that.
jump in on something that Dave said about nostalgia. I was watching a couple of shows on YouTube here this week after Dave. I talked to them last week, and Dave was like, I'm going to be distracted because Rob's show's coming on, so I'm going to watch that while I'm talking to you.
100%.
So, 100%. So I tuned into that show, and like Dave said, it's just the nostalgia piece of it. Like I went with my family to Disney in 1990, and like the videos on the channel look like the video that my dad took with his big old camera on his shoulder with the big VHS tape. I mean, I still have the actual VHS tape. I don't have anything to play it on, but I still have the VHS tape.
Send it over. I'll
send it to you.
I love it.
It just brought me right back to, like, oh my God, I remember when we jumped off Spaceship Earth and they had like all those interactive exhibits. There was like a big like underwater space suit that you could like do different tasks with. And it just took me right back there. Like it made me so happy. I found myself smiling at the television the entire time I watched. It was just super awesome.
Yeah, me too. Like I was the other week, I was like, it is a bucket list item of mine to go to Flushing Meadows Park in New York, because I've always wanted to see the Unisphere. And it was so funny. Like literally as I was talking to Dave, I look on my Instagram and he's like, he's in Flushing Meadows Park. I was like, excuse me right now, what? And then the next day he had that awesome stream. And so that was just kind of it was a little bit of a bucket filler, because I was it was awesome.
Which conveniently turned into a Total Request Live for all the retro rides.
Yeah, I didn't have much footage. I just just filmed. Well, here's the story behind that. I live 20 minutes from that site, 25 minutes top.
Stop.
And I live in Long Island, and I'm a huge Mets fan, and I don't know if you guys know Shea Stadium at the time, and now Citi Field is right in that area there and everything. So every time I went to a Mets game, I would walk over there or see it from the stadium or anything. And I think I've been there twice over my existence living here, and I really wanted to go. And it was spring break last week, and my wife, I was shocked. My wife's like, "Why don't we go to Flushing Meadows?" I was like, "All right, we'll go." So it was really cool. My kids never been there. They loved it. They thought it was so cool. They didn't know much about it. I gave them the history and everything, and we came home. We watched Men in Black that night. So they were
perfect.
mesmerized. They blew up the globe and everything. And I'm like, it's just the special effects, guys. That's all.
It's really there.
But yeah, I showed them that immediately. And, it's sad because, it's a small world. It's just like, it's nothing. It's a grass field and everything. I didn't get that deep into it. I mean, this is where small world. I really want to do that at some point, but I've seen some vloggers that do it, but there just really isn't much there. There's, and the cool thing is, the two towers for Men in Black, and one was the New York State Pavilion, and one was, I think, New York. They were like the New York pavilions, like that whole round thing, and the towers. The round thing had like glass ceiling and everything, and it's really it's really been in really bad shape over the last 10 years, and they finally stepped up, I think 2-3 years ago, and they said, we're going to renovate it. We're putting millions of dollars into fixing up the area. So it is under renovation when I took pictures and everything. The Globe's in great shape. It actually is in really good shape. Unfortunately, there's skateboard around it. I walked over there as a kid, like standing up in the middle of it and everything. And it's a little abused because it's a park in New York, but the history is just so fascinating. When you see the old footage and you go there, you're like, wow. And I kind of mixed it together too. I mixed the old footage with my footage I took last week. So
I noticed that. Yeah,
that was cool how you added that together. That was really
my
cool
dream is, and I'm a drone flyer. And I was talking to Dave about real estate photography and everything. I love drone. I really wanted to fly my drone there, but I'm really afraid because it's if you guys don't know, it's near LaGuardia Airport, and I don't. I've seen people fly drones around it, but I don't want to get in trouble for it. Yeah. I didn't see one sign that said you can't, but I know as a drone flyer, it's because it's near an airport. It's really the whole time
it's sketchy.
Yeah, you don't want the FAA coming after you.
No, but that was my dream to fly a drone around that sucker. But
nice.
Well, I can't wait till this. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back when it's fully restored too. So
Well, now knowing that you live that close, like Matthew wasn't kidding. Like Easter weekend, we had Good Friday off, and Matthew was like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I was like, "Well, we typically do something at Kim's parents on Sunday." Excuse me. And I said, "But I don't know." He was like, "What if we bounce like Thursday after work and drive up to it's always been a bucket list." You guys? 6 hours, 6-7 hours. Yeah. Used to be 8, but now the speed limit is mostly 70 or 75 the whole way, so that helps.
It's neat. It really is neat. And of course, they do the tennis centers there too. They do the U.S. Open right there too. But it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So we almost went. But my wife was like, "Nope."
Are you joking? What are you doing?
It's Easter weekend. I'm like, I know. I'll take a kid with me, and you'll only have one kid to deal with. It's a perfect scenario. She's like, So we tried. We'll plan it out. And so now when we know we're going, we'll tell you. And we'll just be like, since you're so close, could hop over. Yeah. Or you'll be like, nope, not going with those two clowns.
I'm dead. No way. Okay.
Well, Rob, this has been super fun. Now, we would love if you hang out with us the rest of the show, but while we're doing your piece, please tell everybody where they can find you, connect with all of your content online.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Robfuz, ROBFUZ. And then I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you just search at Robfuz, ROBFUZ, you could find me on those fun stuff too. So on those social networks. But I love my YouTube channel. It's just a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys coming over, and it really makes me feel good. I'm doing that to bring everyone back to their their childhood and everything. That's the key. Like I was trying to say before, I forgot to say, like my mom got mad because I always kicked them out of the video. I'm like, I don't want you guys in there. I'm not doing family videos. I want to record the attraction. And I was going to say it before, I forgot to say it, but she got mad at me. I'm like, and it's my family too. They're just so used to it. Like we went the other day, and I was like, I'll be right there, and I'm filming and everything, and they're like walking off distance and everything. So they're used to me. So
I love it. I love it.
So thank you. So that's my channel. So I appreciate it.
I never make family videos. I make.
I'm sorry, Dave.
Okay.
Fridays 4
go.
Eastern time is my live show, and then I think Thursdays I think 7 to 9, I'm going to be doing my theme park retro show that you guys are talking about. So
Nice.
Thanks for showing it on screen too.
Nice.
Yeah, you got it.
Rob, so we kind of did a little bit of bait and switch with you. So there's actually a game that we play called Pick One. And so we want to invite you to play this game. The premise is very simple. We pick 3 things. It can be anything Disney related, and you will have to pick one of those things. We all play. You will pick one of those things. You will plead your case of why that needs to stay, and those other 2 Disney things are gone forever. You can never experience them again. So it's really dark and bleak now that I think about it. It's very sad. Maybe we should go in a different direction.
I've always seen this as more sad than fun, but okay.
But it brings about a good debate between all of us. And so we picked some really simple, easy things last week. It was so, things that nobody would argue about. We talked about the Mickey bar, the Dole Whip, and the Mickey pretzel. No one would ever argue about those things. So this week we thought we'd pick something just 10% more difficult. And in my infinite wisdom, I decided to go with the monorail resorts. So we are going to have to choose between the Contemporary, the Polynesian, and the Grand Floridian. And you can only pick one. You plead why it's the most worth saving, and the other 2 disappear from the monorail, which one good thing, you'll get to the park quicker. But other than that, all of that history will be gone and you can never experience it again.
I struggle with this so
I know.
much.
These are all so great.
This one kept me.
I have reasons to save all of them, but that's not how the game works.
No.
Okay, who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Do it.
Go.
Okay. All right. I am... Oh man, this is so hard. But I know my answer. I'm hesitant to say it, but I know my answer. My answer is a Contemporary, because that's nostalgic for me, so I can't really plead my case in a history kind of way. But the Contemporary was the first major. It's the first one I remember staying at. A, but B, the monorail goes through the hotel. Come on. It's so cool. It's always been cool. And it's it's in a reason. I say reasonable for a specific reason. It's in a reasonable walking distance from the Magic Kingdom, which Grand Floridian is kind of a long walk.
They at least have a path now. So that's a win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's still a long walk. But
you can swim from the Poly.
Yes, you can still walk from the Poly.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's just an even longer walk.
I think it's 2.2 miles or something like that. It's wild. But now I struggle with this. I love Grand Floridian. I love everything about it, but that's not necessarily the one I struggle with. Polynesian is my second favorite resort.
Okay.
And so it's I don't know. So Contemporary wins from the nostalgic standpoint. Polynesian is a great second, and then Grand Floridian. But Contemporary staying.
Here's the bad news. Even though you ranked them second and third, you just blew them both up.
No, I know. They're gone. I know. I know they're gone.
Those are good points.
But yeah.
To me, the best thing going for that is, I think it's every time I disclaimer, I would not try this if I were you, but I have had limited success when taking a ride share and asking to be dropped off at the Contemporary. And then typically I'm coming from the cast member parking lot side because I'm probably staying at Brandon's house and they're at work. So I'm just running to the parks and waiting till they get off work. And luckily that light almost always turns red right there.
It's always
and I'm always like, hey, this will work. I'm going to hop out here.
And the
so
driver is always super confused. The driver is like, You're getting out in the middle of the street. What is going
Yeah,
on?
because I
Yes.
think
Yes,
they're
I am.
required to take you to the TTC, like the bus lot side of the TTC. But I always conveniently hop out right there, and then it's a nice quick walk. But even when, sometimes we'll like make a reservation to eat like at the Wave or something, so we'll be able to park and then just walk over. That's the best thing that's going about the Contemporary. That's why it would be hard for me to let that go. But before I get to mine, I'll let somebody else go. Who would like to go next?
I mean, I can go, and Matthew, I understand completely the nostalgia for the Contemporary. The fact that the monorail goes through it, that was cool in 1983.
Shut up.
So, I mean, I understand. I mean, you're young. That's cool to you, I guess, still, maybe. But that's not.
And you
gonna
can
be
walk.
mine.
You can walk to the park.
You can walk, and you can walk. But I'm going to bulldoze the Contemporary. Bye-bye.
Wow.
Bye-bye, Contemporary. Bye-bye. I'm also, even though it was the place I stayed with our family in 1990, we stayed at the Polynesian. We missed our flight to go back to Maryland because we stayed in the pool and we were playing too long. I have great memories of the Polynesian, but bulldozing that one as well. I'm keeping the Grand Floridian, and here's why. Relatively speaking, the Grand Floridian is fancy, obviously, but there's so much to do there, right? There's so many restaurants to eat at. The other two, maybe have one or two restaurants. If you got rid of them forever, it's not going to be so bad. You're losing like 4 restaurants. It's not the end of the world. So the Grand Floridian has this going for it. It has the Grand Floridian Cafe, which is a place you can go. It feels fancy, but it's really not expensive. If people come into town, we always take them to the Grand Floridian Cafe because it's like, oh my gosh, we're going to the Grand Floridian. It's so nice. We're so fancy. And then you can get like a sandwich for $12. So it's a great place to go. And then it obviously has the high end, like Victoria and Albert's 1900 Park Fair, like great restaurants. So I love the food there. It's got the new Beauty and the Beast bar. And it's got just so much room. There's so much land. The pool is awesome there. The pool bar is awesome there. So there's just so much to do there. And it is a little bit longer of a walk to Magic Kingdom now, but you can walk it. I'm not scared of a walk. I mean, you walk 14 miles in a park. What's another mile to the Grand Floridian? So I'm staying with the Grand Floridian. We're going to stay there in May this year, so hopefully it lives up to my expectations. Grand Floridian.
Okay. We've got 2 separate ones. Rob, do you want to go, or do you want to be the caboose? What would you
I can
prefer?
go. I'm going with Matthew. I was going to say Brandon, but I'm going to go with Matthew. On the video, if you watch, I'm going to bring this retro here, ladies and gentlemen. This is my souvenir book from the first trip to Disney World. And what sold me, ladies and gentlemen, that picture right there.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
My disclaimer, I've stayed at the Polynesian. That's my 1983 hotel. Whatever. But I've never stayed at the Contemporary. I always wanted to stay there. So I'm going to boycott the Grand Floridian because
he's going to boycott it.
They took the band out of the lobby. That is the whole charm of that hotel. That's why I'm going to ban it. And I stayed at the Polynesian. So, all those amazing facts that Matthew said, I'm going to bring I have my little souvenir book from my little childhood. And ever since this day, I wanted to stay there and stay in this hotel.
And
then,
hey,
you have this cool shot of them sailboat in front of it too. So that's kind of
Come
cool
on.
too.
Come on. And while we're still talking about Contemporary, I missed one very important thing for me. It's a very, 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 very large mural that Mary Blair did.
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
I love the Mary Blair mural. I love looking for the 5-legged goat. That's my favorite part. So.
Yes. Oh, I wish I wore my Contemporary hat. I would have.
Oh, there it is. There's the mural.
Because it has the
that thing's
in the
gorgeous.
Grand Canyon concourse.
That's cool. That's super cool.
I just got a print of a piece by Mary Blair. It was it was a piece that when you like go into the hotel room on opening day, it would be in all the rooms. And so I was really excited to get that.
It was a bear, and right? Was it a little bear?
It's a little bear and a little girl It's so.
Oh, you
great.
have that?
I
too?
love
Oh,
it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And the bear eats the girl, and they all die.
No, it's not. No.
Truth be told, this is a terrible thing. I don't want to get rid of any of the hotels.
That's why we played this game. Because
No, but you had the right answer.
so
So,
awful.
This is horrible. This is horrible.
I mean,
okay.
you had the right
Dare I
answer.
say, I have kids. They love Chef Mickey. Dare I say, I know I'm probably going to get people are yelling at their whatever, but my kids love Chef Mickey.
Yeah.
yeah, I hear it. Well, you're correct. So,
Okay.
Dave, what? Go.
Sorry.
I'm ready.
Tell
No,
us, Dave.
I don't need to go. It's fine. What's wrong with? Why can't I keep all three?
Because
I don't have to play your silly game.
You made
This
up
is your
the game.
silly game.
Oh, it's my silly game. Okay. Well, contemporary, Rob contemporary, Brandon.
The right
Grand Forward.
answer.
Oh, I know your answer.
As it turns out, all of you are incorrect,
I knew it.
and here is why.
Why?
I've this is probably going to ruin my answer right from the word go. I have never stepped foot into the Grand Floridian. So for it to be there or be gone
You
makes
haven't?
zero difference.
Never.
I don't think I have
Dude,
either.
like
I
I've
haven't
like
either.
don't you have to
How are
pay
you
to
my
look at
friend?
it? Don't you have to pay to look at it?
No, you can just
It's like
literally
a
go off the
house
monorail and
payment
go
per
there.
night. It's a house payment per night. It's outrageously
Brandon
expensive.
literally just said. Oh, my hand just went into the
Yeah,
frame. Brandon just said, like,
Can't get my hand in there.
are you trying to hold hands with me? Right now?
What is
Let's
the
go.
rate
Okay.
now? Because All Star, like
It depends.
Art of Animation, $700 a night. So I don't even,
Thank
can't even
you.
imagine.
I looked with my pass holder discount the other day. It was $492 a night for the lowest. So
Yeah,
That's a
for
bargain.
for the shed where
Yeah.
they put all the pool supplies. That's what you're paying for.
That's actually
Okay.
just to park your car and sleep in it at night.
So I wasn't kidding when I said that the benefit of the contemporary is the short walk. That's literally the only. So they need to keep the parking lot so I can somehow get over there for the quick walk. All of these restaurants that you guys are raving about, they can put anywhere on property. Who cares? There is nothing like the experience of the Polynesian. Nothing.
Okay.
It is classic Disney.
we had
The A-frame hotel from. That's just it's the monorail goes through.
You want to
it.
talk
Cool.
A-frame? There's literally an A-frame on top of the Polynesian Grand Ceremonial House.
Don't ruin my magical moment. The beat, like you can go and sit on the beach and they pipe in the music for the fireworks once upon a time.
In a
do
lot of
that
the
on
rooms
the
at the
dock at the
Contemporary.
Grand
But we're not. But those are gone. I've imploded them. They're in the Seven Seas Lagoon.
So, fun fact: if you stay at one of the two resorts at the Contemporary, Bay Lake Tower, if you stay there and you have a theme park view room,
That's a big if.
they pipe in the music to
That's
you.
awesome.
Or during
do it at the
fireworks,
California Grill.
if you go to the Top of the World restaurant,
Yeah.
you can stand
Yeah.
outside and watch the fireworks with the music. But
Yeah, you
I've
can.
already bulldozed. I've already bulldozed that hotel. So good luck.
Part of the problem is you've got my second favorite restaurant on property, which is Ohana, hands down. And
They
then
could
you've
put
got
that
Trader
anywhere on
Sam's.
property, Dave.
I know they can, but it,
Literally, how can you say Polynesian? And we had Bruce and Connie on the other week
you
talking
didn't
about
even know
how
what
you
Tonga
haven't had
toast was.
Tonga toast.
I don't really eat at the resorts. Like I get
See,
the
that's the problem.
I get the kids meal at the because I go so often.
Brandon, we're taking him to Grand Floridian Cafe next
We
year.
are.
I'm not.
It will change.
In October we
We'll
can
change
go.
his mind.
Boo.
I'm only there for 2 days. Like I can't. I gotta go to the parks
We'll get an 8 o'clock reservation.
in the morning.
PM.
Yeah.
I
So you're
don't know,
saying
man, it's just too fancy foo-foo for me. Like that's not my
Brandon
people.
said you could get a $12 sandwich.
That's not my people. No, the resort as a whole.
Nice.
I mean, they do have the wedding
Please.
pavilion, but that's literally. I was talking about a house payment a night. That's a house to be able to do a wedding at the wedding pavilion. I don't know. Like the Polynesian to me has just always screamed nostalgic Disney, and that's why the other two are floating at the bottom of the lagoon.
It's got the luau, right?
You
They still
said-
have a luau?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's happening right now due to COVID, but
Right.
And they
it's-
just switched all the rooms to Moana, so that's amazing.
And what's that
was a
cool
great
bar
film.
too that they have there?
Trader Sam's?
Trader Sam's
Yeah.
Grotto.
Grog?
And trivia
Yeah.
question: that is where the Beatles broke up.
Yes.
so congratulations, Dave.
So,
You
way
were
to
the
go,
reason
Dave.
The Beatles broke up.
Well, wait, where did
You blew up the other ones.
I'm Not a Crook do his little thing?
Contemporary?
Thank you very much.
But
corrupt president.
Dave, at the Contemporary is where he said that. Doesn't mean he's not.
What? Doesn't mean he's not corrupt?
It means
Enter a politician name here. Okay, this was fun. Now, here's the most important thing that we want to know. Okay, what would you keep and what would you float to the bottom of Seven Seas Lagoon? Call us, leave us a text message, leave us a voicemail at 757-563-4742 because we want to know what you would choose because this is a biggie. Like this is, I mean, we make jokes. Well, I'll be completely transparent. It was pretty obvious. I've never stepped foot in there. The Grand Floridian was the easy one for me, but the Contemporary is hard. I mean, there's just like, that's the same, like I feel almost the same way about the Contemporary as I do the Polynesian. It's just the Polynesian. Well, you know, Rob, you showed that picture of the sailboat. I think the problem now is those stinking gators, I'm guessing. Like, I love that, like, back in the day, they had all those activities on the flip side of the resort that made it so, like, unique and fun to be able to do. And, you know, obviously because it's, we've learned those waters aren't quite safe, that, you know, they don't really do that anymore.
Out of the Polynesian. I have footage of that.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they still do those, I think. So, fun conversation, guys. This is always a fun thing. Thanks,
Even
Rob,
though you
for
were
playing
wrong.
along. Oh, no, I was
Even
right.
though
All of
you were
guys were.
absolutely wrong, Dave.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one thing that Brandon and I can agree on. You were wrong.
You can
Dave
float
was
on one of the. You can float on one of the spires having your $12 sandwich. That's fine with me.
One of the spires.
Well, hey, this has been a super fun show. It's run super long, but that's just because we've had so much fun with Rob. We didn't want to let him go. So we didn't want to leave you Disney Plus fans out. We didn't want to leave out you Falcon and the Winter Soldier fans out.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we are going to run through the latest episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier at light speed. So if you haven't watched it yet, you'll be super confused. If you have watched it, well, this will be right up your alley. So here we go. Bucky and Sam go visit Zemo. Now, a serum was recreated, and Bucky wants to know who recreated it. Bucky wants to break Zemo out of jail. Sam's not about this at all, but the jailbreak then is initiated through a fight, and Zemo escapes. Sam agrees to have Zemo help them track down the serum.
Plane ride. They talk about idolizing super soldiers as heroes. They are going to Indonesia to start their search, and Bucky has to play the Winter Soldier again. He has to be him again. Head flag smashers. Mama sick passes away. Okay, that's it.
Sam has to play the smiling tiger. The three are trying to meet up with the power broker. Bucky whoops up on some people as the Winter Soldier. Thank you for not putting a cuss word there. Zemo makes a deal offering Bucky as a trade for serum location. Power broker is killed as Sam is outed.
That's a lot. Sharon shows up unexpectedly and agrees to help them. Sam says that if she helps them, he's going to clear her name. Sam, Bucky, and Zemo go to a port and they find Nagel. Now, Nagel was recruited by Hydra and the CIA. He wanted to create a super subtle super soldier, but that disappeared in the blip. He was then recruited by the power broker and then made about 20 vials of the serum. Then Zemo shoots and kills Nagel, which is crazy, and then the lab explodes. Zemo then rescues the three, Sam, Sharon, and Bucky, during a firefight. Now, that's all I got.
This is going swimmingly.
Okay, last bit. Carly wants to give the serum to the kids in the camps. Flag smashers steal supplies and blow up a building. Zemo, Bucky, and Sam go to Latvia. Bucky takes a walk and runs into a Wakandan. What? You're looking for Zemo. Yes, that's it. Yeah. That's
And now
what we got.
you are officially caught up on episode 3 of
dead.
Falcon and the Winter
I
Soldier.
can't. Oh, Rob's watching it.
I'm sorry, I was
we-
watching. I haven't seen it.
That's
I was literally watching it.
Okay, here's the thing. We should never, ever not do an episode recap like that again. That was
exhausted.
absolutely perfect.
that was exhausting, but informative.
Okay, now in all seriousness,
Thanks for writing that, Brandon. We appreciate it.
yes, now you're required to do that every week. Sorry, kidding. I will
Them the
say
rules.
this.
Don't make them.
There's one thing that I do want to touch on that happened this week that is very important, and that was the Loki trailer drop for the show that's starting this June.
Yes.
June 11th.
June 11th.
Correct. Yeah.
And so the only thing that I have to say about that, because we all know that this guy needs a lot of catching up to do on the MCU, but I will say Owen Wilson is a granddad now. That's super weird.
Gosh, he's so old. What happened?
I don't know why they didn't dye his hair, or maybe that's just the
happened
character
to the
he
man?
played.
He's supposed to be old.
Maybe it's been 47 years since the Wedding Crasher, so I guess he's an old man now.
Correct.
I don't know,
Wow.
but that was definitely unexpected.
Yes.
That might be our episode.
That's it.
It was
That's-
brilliant.
That's what we
That
got.
sounds awesome.
That's all we got, folks.
We did
all
not
we
cheat
got.
the Disney Plus at all. We didn't cheat anything.
No.
No.
Rob, you are the best. Thanks for
Thanks, guys.
hanging out with us
Yes.
tonight. I can't wait till, I'm not saying you should, but you should do a live stream tomorrow. But I'm not saying you should.
Yeah.
Well, you
it's
should.
going to be my slot. You're recording Wednesday, so I'm on Thursday. I'm going to try.
I love it.
Thank
I will
you.
be there
Love
with
it.
bells on, with my
Thanks.
fingers commenting on all of the rides.
What a win.
Guys, this has
Yes.
been great. Matthew, how can people connect with us?
Oh,
On the
boy.
interwebs.
On the
Oh,
interwebs. Well, folks, you can hit us up on Facebook and Instagram at 80podfm. That's how you can find us. Or if you want to search Another Disney Podcast, you should be able to find us that way. If you want to go on our website, anotherdispodcast.com, that's where you can find a link to our merch and the final little bit of Attraction Madness if you want to participate in that for the sticker and $25 Disney gift card.
No one cares about that part.
No, nobody
It's just
cares
the
about that
sticker and the pin.
part.
Tuesday at midnight. Tuesday at midnight is the cutoff.
Yes.
And then if you guys would love to help support and contribute to what we do, we'd love that if you want to hit us up on Patreon, patreon.com/adpod.
And we will put in our shameless plug one more time. Rob has enlisted his YouTube army today, and they have been
Yes.
helping us climb.
Yes.
We are nearing the end of our race to 100 subscribers, and it's
Yes.
just so we can get,
I'm gonna
so
get
we
you.
don't have youtube.com/8746RWZR2. Like, so we'll actually be able to do that.
Specifically, too, at the end.
So I think the last time I looked, we were at 67 subscribers. So
68.
we're on the home
68.
stretch.
I just love
love it.
68.
68.
We'll get
Of course,
do
at
this,
this pace, we're going to get to 100 before the 30 days is up, and then we'll have to wait for the 30 days. And no, in our log, we'll get right at 100, and then when we can switch over and have
Isn't
our
it
own
whichever's
thing,
first?
we'll lose one. No, it's 30 days. 30 days. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 100 subscribers and 30 days, or 100 subscribers or 30 days.
We just want Brandon to go live in the parks. That's
Yeah,
all we want.
that's what we want.
That's all I want to be able to do, people.
Guys, Thursdays, follow Rob, or if you just follow at Robfuz on all the socials, you will find these amazing retro rides. Rob, you're the best. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks,
this
You're the
week, man.
best, Rob.